I'd never seen how you run into a pot of porpoises and seen how porpoises herd bait offshore, and then see how the tunas kind of sit back and work with the porpoises. It was amazing.
What are the best months and for which species?
The tunas in Chiriquí, where we are, okay, tend to be best, say like April through August.
What's your favorite lure, for example, or your favorite way of catching them?
I mean, tunas are finicky. A Yozuri mag popper, pop, pop, boom, a 100-pound tuna crashes that. I mean,
well, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come into Alta Pesca to speak with us. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity, Charlie. Yeah, my name's Shane Jarvis. I'm the owner of Sportfish Panama Lodge on Isla Parida in Chiriquí, Panama.
Okay.
I've been in Panama for 22 years. I came here for the first time back in 2001 with my dad, fishing with another outfit, and we were living in Florida at the time. And when I was living in Florida, I was always fishing. When I wasn't working, I was always out on the ocean every weekend.
Okay.
Anyway, we came here to Panama as traveling anglers, and we saw how good the fishing was here. You know, we used to go to the Bahamas a lot, and the fishing's great there. But compared to Panama, the Bahamas is nothing. I mean, the amount of life in the ocean, the amount of fish, the amount of things that you see here is I mean, you don't see anything like that anywhere.
You guys see that you guys said this is special.
Well, the thing that really wowed me was going offshore and seeing the amount of bait that's out there, and seeing really seeing the tuna frenzies, the tuna blitz. We went out there and found a huge pot of pork. I had caught tunas before in Florida, but I had never seen how the porpoises move with, or how the tunas move with the porpoises here. I'd never seen how you run into a pot of porpoises and seen how porpoises herd bait offshore, and then see how the tunas kind of sit back and work with the porpoises. It was amazing. And to see that amount of bait in just an area out in the middle of nowhere, and then 100-pound tunas blasting on the surface was amazing.
I see. So you don't see that elsewhere? Is that unique to Panama, do you think?
I mean, I've seen similar stuff to that in Mexico and in the Bahamas, but not on the quantity that I've seen here.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the idea born? How was the idea born of seeing that and then basically building what you built?
Well, I came down here in 2003, a couple years after the first trip here, because my dad purchased a piece of property on the island that we're on Isla Parida. Anyway, I came down to help the guy that he contracted build the house, and it was just going to be a vacation house for us to come down, every now and again and fish.
Okay.
Anyway, so I came down with plans to stay for a year to help the guy build the house. And when I was here, I got the idea. I was like, wow, we could do fishing charters, and we could probably do something a little bit nicer than the outfit that I had fished with before. So I got to talking to my dad, and I was like, hey, why don't we do a fishing lodge out here? And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, from what I've heard, I've not fished with you guys, but I've heard a lot about you. It's, if not the best, it's definitely one of the best fishing resorts or lodges in Panama. So I just I want to congratulate you on that. And
thank you.
Definitely, seeing something and having the vision to build it and execute it is amazing.
Appreciate that.
So your clientele, what are they looking for usually? The people that come fish with you guys. Well, what is the most thing that they want?
Well, I think that the reason that we've had so much success is because, we're a little unique because we're like a boutique lodge. Mm-hmm. We're not a big resort. We usually have, we have 5 boats now. We've got 5 33-foot cats.
Okay.
Anyway, we usually have about, 15 to 18 people at the lodge, like a group of 2, group of 6, group of 4, another group of 3. Everybody's got their own individual guest houses, their own private guest houses. Everybody's got their own boat with captain and mate. There's some other, lodges here in Panama and in Costa Rica that are very popular and successful, but they're more like a resort, and there's like 40, 50 people there.
Right.
We're still kind of like we're a small boutique experience.
Right.
So, it's not a huge resort kind of feel. The detail that we, pay attention to at the lodge, with the food and the service, along with on our boats, because, our boats aren't your typical, 30-foot or 32-foot diesel trolling machine where we just troll baits all day. We do more of a type of a hands-on type of fishing. So you're casting poppers, you're casting swim baits, you're pitching live baits to fish. We've got more of a hands-on experience than just some of the other lodges. They just troll all day long, and the people sit in the air conditioning.
Right.
We're more of a hands-on type of experience, I guess you'd say.
I see. So it sounds like more personal, more how can I say it? Yeah, unique, right?
For the fishermen. I mean, our typical clients are guys that have their own boats, that are looking to equip, and they look at the stuff that we do, and they see the equipment that we use, the knots we tie, the gaffs we use, the reels we use, the rods we use, the hooks, the pliers, the gear, and they use that and they go and apply it when they go home and they outfit their boat. So I think that's a lot of the reason why we've had success with our sponsors. We've got a lot of great sponsors like Yeti, Grundens, Accurate Fishing, Fish Monkey, Simrad, Mustad, Yozuri, a lot of great sponsors that have Costa sunglasses. All these guys have helped us out, with gear, and we're lucky to have great relationships with them because they know that we're, actively promoting their products to their clients as well.
It's top notch. So yeah. And what species do your clients usually mostly want when they go fishing with you guys?
Well, the great thing about Panama is that we have so many different species. We, if it's not happening with one thing, so if it's not happening with the black marlin or the blue marlin, then you can go catch tuna, Dorado, wahoo, sailfish. If it's not happening anything offshore, then you run inshore to one of the island groups and we catch roosterfish, cubera snapper, blue trevally, mullet snapper, almaco jack, rock snapper. The list goes on.
There's variety.
And, you can, a common day you catch 10, 12 species in a day.
Wow.
And there aren't a lot of places in the world that you can do that. And a lot of people that come here, don't realize that either. Because a lot of clients ask us, hey, well, we want to do one day offshore and one day inshore, and they don't realize that we do everything on the same day.
So because it's right there.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think actually sometimes it's the opposite where a client comes and they see that there's so much going on, and they might go somewhere else, and they're like, whoa, like.
Well, that's the thing, because we get some clients that all they want to catch is marlin.
Okay.
And that's great. That's what we want to do. We want to catch whatever the client wants.
Right.
But the best way to approach it is to be open on those species, because you never know. It's fishing.
Yeah.
If it's not happening with the marlin, then like I said, I mean, we can go catch tuna or wahoo, dorado, sailfish.
Right.
But if you're so focused on that one species and that's all you want to get and it's not happening, then
yeah, you're gonna basically spend that whole day.
Yeah, but most of our clients, you know, they realize that and they know, you know, that it's fishing and that, you know, every day is different.
Right.
So, you know, one day it could be spot on. We get 4 marlin, but the next day, you know, you don't get a bite. That's, you know, that's the fishing.
I see.
Yeah.
So tell me about the fishing seasons. What are maybe the best months and for which species? I know that there's you know, in Panama, there's basically like 2 seasons, but.
Yeah, it's either dry season or rainy season.
Okay.
Now, we fish. You know, we fish 11 months out of the year. We're closed in October, but the fishing's good in October. The reason we close in October because it's the height of our rainy season.
Okay.
In Chiriquí. Now the fishing's great. Now usually the more the rain, the better the fishing is. Okay. But the problem is people don't want to get rained on all day. You know. And anyway, in the dry season, there's you know, there's less weather, so there's less wind and the waves, you know, the seas are a lot nicer.
Right.
Although the ocean here is generally very nice. It's much nicer than when I came back when I was fishing in Florida. The seas are usually 3 feet or less, even if it's, you know, windy and rainy. But anyway, you know, depending on, you know, what you want to catch, I tell people, you know, when to come based on the season. I mean, the inshore stuff tends to be good year round, you know, for like the rooster fish and cubera snapper and the tunas in Chiriquí where we are, okay, tend to be best, say like April through August.
April through August for tuna. Okay.
And then the other months they move over towards the Gulf of Panama, you know, and they tend to be, you know, better there. Anyway, during our dry season, which is the winter up in the United States, tends to be best for marlin for us. Okay, so anyway, although we catch all the species year round, you know, the marlin are actually very good at the edges of the rainy season. So if you were to come to us for marlin in the Gulf of Chiriquí, I would say that the best months are, say, like August through February.
So for marlin, August through February are the best months.
Exactly. Yeah. The end of the rainy season into the beginning of the dry season.
Okay. Yeah. And is that unique to Chiriquí, do you think?
Yeah, that's unique to Chiriquí. Yeah. Okay. Because I know that, you know, over in the Gulf of Panama, it's, you know, they've got their marlin season is a little different than ours, as the same as the tunas. So
right, because
in the Gulf of Panama, you know, south of Panama City, the wind blows really hard in the dry season, and it's rough as hell out here.
Yeah,
you know, for us, because that mountain range starts in the middle of Panama and keeps us protected over in Chiriquí. That's why it's calmer for us during the dry season.
I see. And for tuna specifically, what's your favorite lure, for example, or your favorite way of catching them?
Well, I mean, tunas are finicky. We take out on our boat everything, but I mean, tunas can either eat a popper, a swim bait, a jig, a live bait, and there could be different types of live bait, or a chunk of sardine. So, and some days they don't eat anything, and they're all just rolling around the boat, you know.
Right.
So you got to have everything, you know, ready to go. If you don't know already, to figure out what they're going to eat. Anyway, I mean, our favorite, you know, the most exciting is, you know, popping on top water to see a fish come up and crush it. You know, a popper, there's nothing like it.
Right.
So, a Yozuri mag popper, pop, boom, a 100-pound tuna crashes that. I mean, you know, there's nothing more exciting than that.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And how about mahi-mahi?
Mahi-mahi aren't as consistent seasonally as the other fish. Okay. So anyway, they tend to be best November through February. Okay. Kind of, you know, maybe let that September through February, you know, when we're catching the marlin.
So it's almost like in the middle, right?
Yeah,
Kinda.
Same as the marlin, although we do get them year round as well. But they for some reason they aren't consistent with their season like the tunas and the marlin are.
Okay.
And the wahoo.
I see.
We usually get the mahi either when we're trolling for tunas, or I'm sorry, trolling for marlin. We'll get a lot of like big bull dorados that'll try to eat these big bonitas, these big black skipjacks that we troll.
Right.
They'll peg it, and maybe they can't get it in their mouth, and we'll pitch a live bait to them, or throw a popper to them to get them off our live bait. Or as we're running out, every morning, if we come across a big log, okay, we'll see them swimming around the log, and we either pitch a live bait or a popper or whatever.
Have you guys ever done fly fishing for these?
We get a lot of clients. We don't have any fly gear, but we get a lot of guys that want to fish, with their fly rod.
Right.
So we do host a lot of fly anglers.
Okay.
And our boats, our 33-foot cats have these casting platforms on the front because we custom fabricate a handrail on the front of our boat so you can use that upper station.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
So what we'll do is we'll take poppers and we'll take the hooks off.
Okay.
Okay. So the mate, we'll use it like a teaser. So the mate will go up there and cast the popper. We do it a lot for inshore to catch rooster fish.
Okay.
So the mate will go up there and cast a popper. Pop, pop, pop. When the rooster fish rises up and try to strike the popper, then the angler's got to be right there to put the fly on the spot, and then the mate brings the teaser
That's the
out.
bait and switch, right?
Yeah, it's similar like when you're doing sailfish.
Okay.
Si te gustó el episodio, dale like y suscríbete y atentos a la próxima parte del episodio. Si tienes alguna pregunta, hazlo en los comentarios.